Someone threw a bottle at Zayn Malik's head, on stage, in front of a live crowd, and it nearly connected. The footage leaked within minutes, and the internet has not recovered since. But the bottle was not the real story. What was building beneath the surface, the canceled tour dates, the secret hospitalization, the 3 hours the crowd spent waiting in silence, that is what we are exposing today. And by the end of this, you will understand exactly how a fan event turned into one of the most alarming celebrity moments of 2026. The incident at Banquet Records. To understand what happened that night, you need to picture the scene precisely. Not the moment the bottle was thrown, but the hours that came before it. Because what took place at Banquet Records in Kingston, London, was not a spontaneous explosion of random violence. It was the inevitable result of tension that had been building, degree by degree, for over 2 hours inside a packed venue, where hundreds of devoted Zayn Malik fans had gathered for what was supposed to be an intimate, celebratory Q&A event ahead of his Chronicle tour. The doors had opened on time. The fans had filed in, claimed their spots, and settled in with the electric excitement that only comes from being physically close to someone you have idolized for years. And then they waited. 30 minutes passed, then an hour, then 90 minutes, then 2 full hours, with no clear update from the venue, no statement from Zayn's team, and no explanation offered to the crowd, standing shoulder to shoulder in a space growing warmer and more tense with every passing minute. The excitement that had filled the room when the doors first opened had quietly, slowly curdled into something else entirely. When Zayn Malik finally appeared on the stage after more than 2 hours of unexplained delay, the crowd's reaction was complicated. There was relief, yes, and genuine, audible excitement. But beneath it, something harder, something that had been compressed too long under too much pressure. For most people in that room, it stayed beneath the surface. They cheered, they asked their questions, they held up their phones and tried to make the most of a night that had not gone the way they planned. But one person in the balcony section did not hold it beneath the surface. Without warning, a woman began screaming obscenities at the stage, her voice cutting through the noise of the crowd with a raw, unhinged fury that immediately silenced the room around her. And then she started throwing. Water bottles hurled with deliberate force in the direction of Zayn's face. Footage from multiple angles captured the moment with brutal clarity, one projectile missing his head by inches only because he managed to duck at the very last second. A second bottle struck a nearby crew member directly. Security moved instantly, physically pushing through the crowd toward the balcony, while simultaneously surrounding Zayn and moving him off the stage and out of the venue. The entire event collapsed in minutes, and the footage was everywhere before he even reached the exit. The health crisis nobody is talking about. Here is the question that the viral footage alone cannot answer. Why was Zayn 3 hours late to his own event? Because the delay was not logistical. It was not a scheduling mix-up or a traffic problem or a miscommunication between venue staff. According to multiple sources tracking the story, the delay was a direct consequence of something far more serious, a health situation that Zayn Malik's management team had been quietly managing for weeks and had not been fully transparent about with either the public or the fans who had purchased tickets to see him. Just weeks before the Banquet Records event, Zayn had abruptly canceled multiple major United States tour dates with almost no advance warning. The official statement from his team was deliberately vague, citing the need for rest and recovery without specifying any condition, any timeline, or any detail that might give his fan base a genuine understanding of what was actually happening. The internet, predictably, filled the silence with speculation. Theories ranged from physical exhaustion to something far more serious. His most devoted fans, the global Zquad, were not just worried, they were frightened. And that fear had been sitting unaddressed for weeks by the time they filed into Banquet Records on the night of the incident. What those fans did not know, what most of the world still does not fully know, is the degree to which Zayn Malik has spent years managing severe anxiety that makes large public appearances genuinely, physically difficult for him, in ways that most people in the music industry never have to confront. He has spoken about it in rare interviews over the years. He has cited it as a central reason for the patterns of withdrawal and cancellation that have followed his career since leaving One Direction in 2015. His anxiety is not a character flaw or a professional failing. It is a documented, serious condition that requires careful management and does not always respond to the demands of a packed tour schedule and a live crowd of hundreds of people expecting a flawless public performance. The 3-hour delay was not disrespect. It was, by every available account, a man fighting himself, trying to get to a place, mentally and physically, where he could walk into a room full of strangers and be present for them the way they deserved. The tragedy of the night is not that he was late. It is that the person who threw the bottle never stopped to ask why. The Zquad fights back, and the industry takes notice. Within hours of the footage going public, Zayn Malik's global fanbase mobilized with a speed that sent a clear message to every corner of the internet. The Zquad, one of the most devoted and most organized fan communities in modern pop culture, launched immediate campaigns across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram to identify and report the individual responsible. Hashtags demanding accountability trended in multiple countries simultaneously. Fan accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers posted frame-by-frame breakdowns of the footage, publicly calling on Kingston authorities and Banquet Records to take formal action. The response from the wider entertainment industry was equally swift. Artists, professionals, and commentators across Hollywood and London's music scene spoke out publicly, framing it as part of a broader and deeply alarming pattern of audience behavior at live events that has been escalating throughout 2025 and into 2026. The consensus was unambiguous. Throwing any object at any performer under any circumstances is assault. The delay does not justify it. The frustration does not excuse it. And the fact that it happened to an artist who has been publicly open about battling severe anxiety makes it not just legally actionable, but morally indefensible. He got back on stage anyway. Here is the part of this story that the outrage and the footage have almost completely overshadowed. Because hours after a bottle nearly took his head off at Banquet Records, hours after being rushed off a stage by his security team, Zayn Malik got back on a stage. A much bigger one, the O2 Arena in London, the opening night of his Kona Call tour, in front of thousands of fans who had waited years to see him return to live performance. He did not cancel. He did not retreat. He did not release a statement and disappear behind his publicist's language. He showed up, visibly shaken by the events of earlier in the evening, according to people who were there, but present, performing, giving the audience a version of himself that they had been waiting years to witness again. Zayn Malik has spent the better part of a decade being underestimated, written off, and reduced to a headline. The anxiety that makes his career harder than most people understand. The cancellations that make him an easy target for criticism from people who have never had to fight their own mind just to walk into a room. The question is not whether Zayn can handle the pressure. He answered that already. The question is whether the industry and the audiences it serves can finally learn to meet him with the patience and the dignity he has always deserved. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, subscribe to Celebrity Things, and we will see you next time.